Alright guys, Inc here, welcome back to the channel for another Street Fighter Duel video. Today's video I'm going to be talking about a bug that's actually happening in game, kind of how Crunchyroll are responding to it and how you can avoid it happening to you, okay? Now it's actually affected me personally, it's affected people in my Discord as well, and it's actually got to the point where one of the members of my Discord, I actually think he's going to end up quitting the game because of it, and to be honest, I'm not, but I'm expecting the same outcome as him, and to be honest, it's going to be an absolute headache. I don't want you guys to experience the same headache, so if I talk to you about this experience, tell you what's happening, I can then tell you how to at least avoid it happening to you, okay? So first of all, he, 5 days ago, tried to buy the Bison pack, okay? I, 4 days ago, tried to buy 2 different things in game. You know when you hit those points, like beat tower, it'll pop up with this thing you can purchase and it'll let you choose a couple of different items and you can buy 3 different versions of it at differing prices, okay? So it happened to me with that, right? And it happened on 2 of them. I do not know why I made the second one when the first one didn't work. That was dumb, I shouldn't have done that. But maybe I had too much faith that, you know what, they'll sort it out, I'll get it later, right? So anyway, he bought the Bison pack, he never got his items. And immediately, like you're supposed to do, he went on to customer support, filled in the form, it asks you to put in all your information, your account information, it asks you to put in your server, it asks you to put in exactly what you purchased and exactly what was in the package, okay? Now to me, it seems like that is a case of, okay, if you send us the receipt and you send us what you were supposed to get, we'll add it to your account. That's generally what's supposed to happen with these things, okay? After 5 days, he spent $100, remember? After 5 days, he finally gets a response. I've not had my response, it's been 4 days, I'm still waiting, so I need to use his information, which he's given me permission to do, as an example. So after 5 days of asking for his items, he has not asked for a refund. This is the response he got from Crunchyroll. Thank you for reaching out to us. If you have purchased something and you've received the charge but you haven't received any items, please reach out to the App Store to get the charge refunded. Unfortunately, we don't have access to the App Store billing system, which is true, thus we can't issue any refunds. He hasn't asked for a refund. We do apologise for any inconvenience this may cause you. Just let us know if there's anything else that we can assist you with. Thanks and have a great day. So, first off, I've got a little bit of experience with this because I've covered a lot of gachas. I've obviously dealt with games that have issues and things like that. Apple have actually told me before, if you contact the developer and ask them for a refund, they will direct you back to Apple because they cannot give you a refund. However, if you ask for your items, that is when the developer can help you out. And obviously, as explained, my friend on the Discord asked for his items, which is why Crunchyroll would be asking you for things like your user ID, what you purchased, what exactly was in the package. That was the reason for that. If they were just going to direct him back to the App Store, why make him wait 5 days? Why have that all on the form? They should simply have it in the FAQ that if you've had a payment that's not gone through, then contact the App Store. Why make someone wait for 5 days? It makes no sense to me. So anyway, he followed that procedure. He contacted the App Store and bang, Apple refused. Now, I'm going to explain to you guys very quickly why Apple refused, because again, I've been through this. I had an issue with Dislight. They were selling false rates, they were lying to people, they were basically screwing people out of their money, and Apple went into a bit of detail with me why they didn't refund and why they won't refund. If you're someone who plays a lot of gacha games, honestly, you're not getting a refund. If something goes wrong, Apple won't give you a refund, okay? And the main reason for that is honestly because so many people have put in false claims for refunds. They actually just basically think that gacha players are all at it and they won't give you a refund if something is actually gone wrong. So in this case, he done what you should do. He contacted Apple and says, look, you've refused my refund. The developers told me to contact you. There's nothing else I can do. And Apple have told him, the system rejected your refund request. We cannot override the system. I've heard all this before, by the way. We cannot override the system. You only have 2 options now. You contact the developer, tell them you want your stuff, which is what he'd done initially, or you have to go to your bank and you have to file a chargeback request. He then asked, could filing a chargeback request not put my Apple account at risk? To which the advisor replied, yes, you are at the risk of a ban by doing a chargeback. However, if it's the only option you've got available, that's the only thing I can tell you. So he basically now has to do one of two things. One, contact Crunchyroll again, asking them to do what he asked them to do in the first place. It's going to take at least 5 days because they're doing terrible with regards to customer service right now. It's very poor. It's going to take at least 5 days to get an answer to that, and in all that time, he is not going to have his items. Now, I've been 4 days and I've not had a response, so I'm expecting if it took him 5, I should hopefully get a response within the next 24 hours. I was extremely detailed in my email. I said to them in no uncertain terms, I do not want my money back. This was a limited time pack. I want the items, which are gold shard things, it's divination tokens, and it's also breakstones. Plus, I want my VIP points. Here is the exact package I purchased. This is what I would want. I paid for it. Here is my receipt. Okay. Now they can see everything, right? They've got the time of the purchase. They can go into your account and they can check that you did not receive those items at that point. So there's absolutely no reason that they can't manually resend the items to your account. It happens all the time. It's very, very easy to do. So if they tell me to go for a refund, I know that I'm not going to get it and I'm going to have to repeat this circle and go back to them again. So guys, you don't want this to happen, and I'm going to show you just now how to stop that from happening. Okay, there's 3 ways that you can stop it from happening. Okay, the first way is very simple. Don't spend money. If you don't spend money, you're not going to need to chase a refund. That was the easiest way possible, but let's talk about the actual serious ways for people who do want to make purchases in the game, because this is happening to loads and loads of people. I do not know if this issue affects Google, but it definitely affects Apple, and it'll affect everyone on Apple where your card is going to seek authorization on the purchase. Okay, so I know for a fact that's going to affect pretty much every player who's in the UK and the EU. I do not know if Americans have to face this, but in the UK and the EU, it's certainly something that you will have to face. Okay, so how to avoid this happening to you? Now, if you go to make a purchase, so if you go to the mall, right, and we go to limited, you'll see that there's 3 different packs here. Okay, now all of these packs are priced above £25. Okay, for me, £25, or sometimes it's £20, seems to be the trigger point for when your card will seek additional authorization. Okay, so if you're making purchases below that amount, it shouldn't affect you. Okay, but if you're making a purchase above that amount, here's what you need to do. You either, one, need to go in to your app store and change your payment method to Apple Pay, right? So put whatever card that is you want to use onto your Apple Pay account, and if you use Apple Pay, because it uses your face, it doesn't seek further authorization. Okay, so it will complete the transaction within the app. Okay, and you will get your items 100%. Okay, now not everyone's card is accepted on Apple Pay, so if you are someone in that scenario, the solution for you is you go to your app store, okay, or wherever, it doesn't really matter where you do this. Okay, you go to the app store, you click add money. Okay, and when you click add money, put in the amount you want, so whether it's 50, whether it's 100, whether it's whatever, right? You will seek authorization at that point, but it's fine, you'll be authorized, and then the money will go onto your Apple account. Then when you go to Street Fighter, when you make your purchase, it will go through no problem at all, because you don't have to seek authorization. Okay, the way you add money to your account is up to you. You can do it straight from the App Store, you can go online, get yourself iOS cards, maybe you'll find them cheaper, I don't know, but that is the other way to do it. Okay, but if you have a credit card or a debit card as your payment method, do not make a purchase on Apple over 25. I think it's 25, it might be 20, it's one or the other. I'd play it safe and don't do it over 20. Basically, if you go to make a purchase and it takes you out of the app for authorization, cancel it. Do not do it, because if you do it, you will not get your items in game. You will have to go through the rigmarole of contacting support, where 5 days, you know what I mean? 5 days is like a ridiculous amount of time to wait for purchases of 100, 150. You know, it's a ridiculous amount of time to wait. Do not put yourself in that position. The way to avoid it is either use Apple Pay or use Apple Credit, which again I've told you how to get. Personally, I don't want to be negative, right? I know yesterday I put out a video talking about how it could be a bad gacha system, which I was honest, it could be a bad gacha system. I really do not want to put out a video the following day talking about what people are going to say is negativity, right? But there's people, hundreds of people spending money and they're not getting their stuff, okay? The Discord is deleting comments, which is just ridiculous. The Discord is deleting comments when people are pointing out that they have not had their stuff. You know, I put up a complete post in game feedback telling people what the issue was, how to avoid the issue, how to make sure it didn't happen to you. And I did say that, you know what, a 5-day turnaround for customer service is pretty poor. You need to try and speed that up a little bit. They deleted it. The guy who I showed you his posts done the same thing, told people how to avoid it. They deleted it. So I can't defend that. I can't say that that's good. They obviously don't want people to know that there's payment issues. Me putting this out here, I'm not saying you don't spend, I'm telling you how to spend and how to actually get your stuff. So I don't feel like I'm being negative. I'm just trying to help you guys not go through the issues that we're facing just now, because I'll be honest with you, if you're on Google and you get payment issues, Google are a lot easier to work with. People have this false interpretation that Apple is actually easier to work with. They're not. They're really, really not, you know. Obviously, people have been abusing these systems for far too long, and it's kind of annoying because technically it's Apple's fault. If Apple were able to do the authorization as a pop-up in-game, the payment would go through. It's because it takes you out of the app and then tries to put you back into the app. Now, to be fair, there's a lot of games that do that, and they can handle it no problem at all because the game has been coded to be able to deal with that. Crunchyroll or whoever's responsible for the coding of this version haven't put those safeguards in place. So, I mean, it's 50-50 on this one. It's technically Apple's fault for pulling you out of the app, which they've legally got to do to comply with EU law or whatever laws your country's in. But at the same time, Crunchyroll should have developed the app to be able to handle that, because it is something that happens with multiple apps, things like Dokkan, loads of things, and you go out, you complete your purchase, it will say all set, purchase complete. When you go back into the app, bang, your stuff comes through like a normal purchase. Like I say, Crunchy just haven't coded it, basically. They've coded it badly, they've not coded it, don't know what they've done. But if you do what I say, you can still make purchases if you want to, it will not affect you. But guys, honestly, you do not want to have to go down the customer service road, because 5-day turnaround, they've not fixed the issue. Everyone who's trying to buy stuff, they're sending in tickets. That list is just going to keep growing and growing, and the waiting time is just going to keep getting longer and longer. So if you can avoid it, then do not make a purchase directly off your card. Do what I said, use either Apple Pay or use top-up credit. Anyway guys, that's it. Hopefully this is the last video that I'm going to have to make about a topic that isn't exactly positive, but I'm just being honest. I'm just trying to protect you guys and make sure you do not get caught in this horrible customer service loophole, because like I say, it's bad. I mean, I don't know how anyone can justify them making people wait 5 days, whether it's $2 or whether it's $150. I guess it doesn't really matter, but I mean, it's a lot of money, and you know what? Getting no answers is pretty poor. Anyway guys, I've been hazing, I've told you how to avoid it. Hopefully it doesn't happen to you. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Like I say, my friend will probably make a comment in regards to this video. He is thinking about quitting. He cannot be bothered with the hassle. He's never had this from a gacha game before. I must admit, I've never had an experience like this from a gacha game before. But let me know, would it be enough to put you off playing? I'm not going to stop playing. I think he might, but what would you do? Anyway, catch you in the next one. Peace.